This is Becky Webb. Old age makes us think a lot about our lives. My grandmas have recently been bogged down quite a bit with old age, and it has been fascinating and interesting to see how their lives are reflected in the eyes of their children through the stories they tell. I called my parents up and asked them to tell me a few stories about their moms, and as they told these stories, they held life for me, and they made me ponder a lot about my life. And so here's a story about my Grandma Betty. My Grandma Betty loved to garden. Her garden was so beautiful. She would spend hours out there tending her plants, watering them, hoeing and weeding and watching them grow and picking the vegetables and the fruit when they were ripe. She had big red juicy tomatoes and fresh crispy cucumbers and sweet juicy raspberries and yummy peas and squash and green beans and anything that you can imagine. She loved picking that food and putting it on her table for dinner, and she loved working out there, being self-reliant and prudent. She also really loved her children, and she knew that her son Randy, my dad, loved farm animals. So she got him some chickens to watch over and to enjoy and to learn responsibility from them. And these chickens were kind of funny looking. The females had these balls of feathers just stuck around their face, and the males had these huge feathers sticking out of their heads, and on their claws they had these horns just sticking out. And the chicken coop was pretty close to my grandma's garden, and my grandma would go out to garden, and she'd just be sitting out there and taking care of the garden and tending the plants and picking the fruits and vegetables, and all of a sudden these chickens would just creep up behind her and then just poke her with their little horns and their claws and just attack her while she was gardening. And they did this like every day, and finally she just decided this is not going to happen anymore. And so she decided to go in the house in the hunt for a weapon. She looked around in the house and all the household objects, trying to find something, when she came across the broom. She brought that broom outside ready for those chickens. She had it close to her as she went back out and was gardening, and all of a sudden the chickens started to creep up once again, ready to attack, their horns coming out. And as they came up really close to attack, she took out a broom and just whacked it as hard as she could. She whacked each one until finally, after that, those chickens were no longer a problem with my grandma gardening. I know in life, when we are doing what we love and what we value to be important, some things come and poke us and attack us and try to keep us from doing those things. But I learned from my grandma that we must never be bogged down by these things, but instead whack them away and accomplish the things that we need to get done.